Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I am making some clusters for my December dailies. I just want to get prepared so I am on track and working in my journal every day in December. I'm going to mix some old and new. I have some vintage ephemera. I have some new ephemera I got from a pen pal that I wanted to use. I'm also going to use some lace scraps that I had laying around. I hate throwing little pieces of lace away when I know I can use it somewhere. I'm also going to use some vintage sari trims that I got. These are so beautiful and stunning, and I love adding a little bit of like bling to some of these clusters. So how I'm going to start is I have this like box of paper scraps and just things that I know I would probably use in my junk journal. So I'm just going to go through this box and take out what I think I'll use. And I do have some not so scrappy type of things. I just kind of put stuff in here that I got from pen pals that I definitely thought I would use in my journals. I just wanted to keep them all in one place. So making these clusters, I really have no idea what I'm going to do. I just kind of go through things and see what goes nicely together, what I like. They're so much fun to make because you really have to just be creative. And what's great about this is you really can't mess anything up because it's a junk journal and it's not meant to be perfect. And I just like being able to use up these little scrap pieces of paper, and I love mixing the old and new. I love mixing old vintage ephemera with new pieces, and I just love the look that you get. So right here, I'm just kind of tearing things and seeing how I like it layered up. I really wanted to use all different types of color schemes in this junk journal. I wanted to have, like some cute pastel, Christmassy type things, as well as the traditional colors of Christmas. And I have these really cool little handmade pieces of paper that I love to tear up. They just add a awesome texture to anything. They're very, very fun to use. I have these old little tickets that I got off of an Etsy shop, and those are really neat. I'm having so much fun using those. I love all the different faded colors. And then so here I'm pairing this little cluster with this vintage postcard. It has like a little Christmas, it doesn't really look Christmassy, but it has a little Christmas sentiment on the bottom. And I just love the colors and I love the imagery on this. This sari trim is so pretty. I thought it just matched perfectly with the colors of this little cluster that I'm making. And I like to use my stapler to attach things, and then sometimes I'll leave the staple visible. Other times I'll cover it with something, and this little sari trim worked perfect to cover that up and bring it all together. Love the look. I love how it's like vintage, and then you add just a little bit of sparkle with the sari trim. It's so pretty. Notice how my workspace got really messy really fast. I have this tiny little area in my little like craft, I call it my craft room. It's really not, it's just this little corner with a counter. But it works great for me, and yeah, it just gets really messy really quick. But that's just, I don't know, that's kind of how I work. I just have piles of things and go through them. So right now I'm just tearing up some little pieces of things, kind of deciding what I want to do. I think I search around for a tag that a pen pal sent me. I remembered I had spotted it in my little box of things. And yeah, I think, of course, yep, it's at the very bottom of the pile. So here I'm just going to layer up some things that I want to use on here, and kind of see what I'm going to make. I ended up absolutely loving this little tag. I thought that this trim that I had fit perfect and just looks so beautiful. I use Fabri-Tac to glue down a lot of the pieces. Sometimes I just staple, sometimes I need some glue to put it down. I like Fabri-Tac because it works for all different types of paper, fabric, whatever you have, and it's very permanent. So yeah, I use Fabri-Tac a lot. So here I'm just kind of gluing my pieces down where I want them, and when I add the lace, I absolutely just love it. And I think I didn't love that wet spot that was made from the glue on that little handmade white fuzzy paper. So I ended up searching around for something because, yeah, that kind of just stayed there. I didn't like it. I wanted to cover it. I found this little angel sticker. It was like a pack of like ephemera, vintage style ephemera stickers. And it has 3 little angels on it, and I just thought it was so gorgeous. I trimmed it down and rounded the edges, and it ended up looking perfect on this tag. Kind of messed around with the placement, and I ended up going with it layered like underneath the lace a little bit. Turned out so pretty. One of my favorite things to use in these clusters is music sheet scrap pieces. I have this really awesome book of music sheets, and I cherish this thing. I think I'm actually running out of it now that I think about it, but I use it a lot and I love it, and I never throw away any of the little scraps. So I'm trying to figure out how to layer this up. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I end up using this little piece of, it's like an old vintage invoice that I got from a pen pal. I've been using it a lot actually, and I'm trying to just figure out how I want to layer this up. I ended up making this little rustic tag type thing, if you will, and I love how it turned out. This was one long sticker. I think it said like peace, love, and hope, and it's a 3D sticker with like a chipboard style. I added some Fabri-Tac on the back, and I cut it up a little bit and ended up just putting peace right over that little staple there. And I just love the look of it. It turned out really cute. A lot of these clusters I'll use just to embellish my journal pages in my December dailies. Some of them I'll glue on and use as little tucks, or some I'll just stick in little pockets. But it's going to make my life so much easier. I found this little Polaroid. This is a real vintage Polaroid I had found I had purchased a box of old photos, and I just thought it was so pretty, just a very classic Christmas style picture. And there's 3 little kids. A lot of things that I find, it just happen to be 3 kids, and I have 3 daughters, so it just works out so well. So I'm just adding a little bit of lace. I didn't want to do too much on this Polaroid because the Polaroid itself is just very cool. So I'm just adding a few things to, turn it into a little cluster. I am loving how this is turning out. I have just the lace and the paper. Sometimes I just keep it very simple. I found this Christmas magic little cutout, and I just thought it worked perfect. So I was saying sometimes I like to keep it simple and just do like 2 layers, 3 layers. I usually do more than 2 layers, and definitely love the little textures that you get from layering up different types of paper and fabric or lace. And I have this metallic thread that I purchased. I have it in gold and in red, and I like to just wind it around my fingers a bunch of times and just create this little, I'll usually tuck it behind something, and it just makes this beautiful little spray of gold metallic thread, and it's so pretty. It sparkles. I love using this. I'm just kind of messing it up a little bit, making the threads come out bigger. And then I take a little bit more Fabri-Tac and put a little dot of glue just to make sure it's secured back behind the picture in between the lace. I love the little bit of bling it adds. Very, very pretty. This is a piece of that vintage invoice that I was talking about earlier. And I'm just kind of crumpling it up a little bit just to add some more texture to it. It's already very old and very cool. I know I'm not the only one that loves old handwriting, vintage handwriting. So yeah, I'm just taking, this is a new ephemera piece with the vintage style. I thought it was really pretty. I'm just taking some ink and some distress ink, and I just don't like how stark white it is, so I'm just distressing it to make it look a little bit more vintage. And this is the Tim Holtz distress ink. I don't remember what color I used, but I usually use vintage photo. I'm pretty sure that might be what it is. So now I have just a little scrap piece of paper. that I ripped up, and I'm inking it with some more Distress ink just around the edges. And I have this little piece of ribbon. I think it's like a silk sari type ribbon. I'm trying to figure out how I want to add it to this cluster. I end up going with, I just do a stitch straight down the whole side of it. And I always forget I have this little portable hand sewing machine. It's so fun to use. It's super easy than hauling out my big sewing machine.
Mom, do you have a pencil?
So I have this little girl die cut that I've been wanting to use. I think she's so cute. I end up inking her a little bit and adding her to this vintage ticket. Not sure what I want to do yet, but I remember I have this little ribbon that a pen pal sent me, and it says Dear Santa. It's so cute. So I end up just cutting off a little piece of it and adding it to the cluster, and I end up making a little small piece, but it's so cute. This is an old vintage paper doll that I have. I think it's so cute. It's all put together. It's like the clothes on it aren't stuck on. They're just kind of folded on how you would use a paper doll. And there's a little paper clip on it that kind of came holding the little outfit on. And I end up just leaving it like that. I make a little cluster that goes behind it, and then I just stick it behind the paper doll with the paper clip. It's such an adorable little piece. Most likely I'll end up turning this into like a little tuck in my journal, and I just thought it was so adorable. I had got it actually at an antique shop. So it's just so precious. That is all the time I had for today. If you're interested in some holiday type ephemera, I do have some vintage kits and junk journal kits in my Etsy shop. I'll post the link down below where you can find that. And thank you so much for watching.